Why is it important to report near misses? A. To assign blame for unsafe behavior. B. To prevent future accidents by identifying potential hazards. C. To avoid being held responsible for future incidents. D. No action is needed if no injury occurred. Correct answer, B. To prevent future accidents by identifying potential hazards. What could be a possible outcome if an employer fails to provide adequate safety training? A. You might need to work overtime to make up for the lack of training. B. You could face an increased risk of injury and health issues. C. You might receive a higher salary as compensation. D. You could be reassigned to less dangerous tasks. Correct answer, B. You could face an increased risk of injury and health issues. What is a possible consequence for employers who fail to prevent accidents and ill health at work? A. Increased employee morale. B. Reduced insurance costs. C. Increased productivity. D. Legal action and fines. Correct answer, D. Legal action and fines. If you witness an accident at work, when should you report it? A. As soon as possible. B. Within a week of the incident. C. Only if it results in injury. D. At the end of the shift. Correct answer, A. As soon as possible. What is one primary reason for reporting workplace accidents? A. To ensure that workers get a bonus. B. To identify and address potential safety hazards. C. To find out who was at fault for the accident. D. To ensure that the company can claim insurance benefits. Correct answer, B. To identify and address potential safety hazards. Why should you report an accident at work? A. To avoid getting blamed. B. To hold someone accountable. C. It is a legal requirement. D. To keep everyone in the loop. Correct answer, C. It is a legal requirement. What should you do if there is an emergency on site? A. Inform the site manager of the emergency. B. Wait for someone to tell you what to do. C. Complete the task as quickly as possible. D. Go to the designated assembly point. Correct answer, D. Go to the designated assembly point. How can you learn about the site emergency procedures? A. By reading signs around the site. B. By checking the site's social media accounts. C. By attending the site induction. D. By asking the Health and Safety Executive, HSE. Correct answer, C. By attending the site induction. How should you be informed about what to do in an emergency? A. By watching others during an emergency. B. By reading the site notice boards. C. By calling the emergency services. D. By looking in the site handbook. Correct answer, B. By reading the site notice boards. When should you wear a hard hat on site? A. Only when you feel it S necessary. B. When working at height. C. During certain hours. D. At all times. Correct answer, D. At all times. How will you know if you need extra PPE before starting a new task? A. By checking the risk assessment. B. By looking at what others are wearing. C. By researching online if you're unsure. D. By assuming you will always need extra PPE. Correct answer, A. By checking the risk assessment. When is it acceptable to remove your safety helmet on site? A. When taking a break in a designated rest area. B. When working inside a building under construction. C. When it's not raining. D. When you are not actively working. Correct answer, A. When taking a break in a designated rest area. What is the proper way to dispose of used batteries on a construction site? A. Throw them in a general waste bin. B. Place them in a designated recycling container. C. Bury them on site. D. Pour the contents down a drain. Correct answer, B. Place them in a designated recycling container. Which safety symbol represents explosive materials? A. A symbol showing a flame. B. A symbol with a skull and crossbones. C. A symbol depicting an explosion with burst lines. D. A symbol of a hand with a gear. Correct answer, C. A symbol depicting an explosion with burst lines. Which of the following is a common cause of water pollution on site? A. Rainwater washing materials from skips into surface water drains. B. Improper waste sorting in recycling bins. C. Dust from construction sites blowing into the sea. D. Excessive use of water for cleaning equipment. Correct answer, A. Rainwater washing materials from skips into surface water drains. If a worker uses an angle grinder to cut tiles near pedestrians, what immediate hazard will affect the pedestrians? A. Hand-arm vibration syndrome. B. Electric shock. C. Contact dermatitis. D. Dust from the cutting tiles. Correct answer, D. Dust from the cutting tiles. What is the primary cause of long-term health problems in the construction industry? A. Inhaling hazardous dust and fumes. B. Slips, trips and falls. C. Being struck by a falling object. D. Being struck by a reversing vehicle. Correct answer, A. Inhaling hazardous dust and fumes. Where are you most likely to be exposed to the highest quantities of dust? A. In an open outdoor area. B. In a confined indoor space. C. In a well-ventilated large workshop. D. In a covered outdoor area with fans. Correct answer, B. In a confined indoor space. Which tool is most likely to cause hand-arm vibration syndrome, HAVS? A. Manual screwdriver. B. Hammer. C. Concrete breaker. D. Electric screwdriver. Correct answer, C. Concrete breaker. What is a common health issue associated with prolonged use of handheld vibrating tools? A. Muscle strain in the back. B. Hearing loss. C. Numbness in fingers. D. Frequent headaches. Correct answer, C. Numbness in fingers. To minimize the risk of developing hand-arm vibration syndrome, HAVS, which of the following conditions is preferable? A. Warm and dry conditions. B. Cold and wet conditions. C. Hot and dry conditions. D. Cold and dry conditions. Correct answer, A. Warm and dry conditions. What should workers do if they need to take medication that could affect their ability to perform their job safely? A. Keep taking the medication without informing anyone. B. Consult their doctor and inform their manager to discuss any necessary adjustments. C. Only work during hours when the medication will not affect them. D. Ask colleagues to cover for them whenever they need to take the medication. Correct answer, B. Consult their doctor and inform their manager to discuss any necessary adjustments. How should sensitive medical information about employees be handled? A. Confidentially, in line with data protection regulations. B. Shared openly with all employees to ensure transparency. C. Displayed on public notice boards for accountability. D. Included in the company newsletter for general awareness. Correct answer, A. Confidentially, in line with data protection regulations. When prescribed medication by a doctor, which question is most important to ask regarding your job? A. Will it make waking up harder in the mornings? B. Will it cause me to need extra breaks during my shift? C. Will it make me less productive at work? D. Can I do my tasks or operate machinery safely? Correct answer, D. Can I do my tasks or operate machinery safely? What should you do if a pre-existing injury affects your ability to perform manual handling tasks? A. Ignore the injury and perform the tasks as required. B. Wait until the injury becomes severe before reporting it to your supervisor. C. Attempt to complete the tasks and inform your supervisor only if the injury worsens. D. Inform your supervisor that lifting tasks could be problematic. Correct answer, D. Inform your supervisor that lifting tasks could be problematic. What should you do if you need to move a heavy load that cannot be divided and you do not have assistance available? A. Use a forklift truck, even if you are not trained to operate it. B. Attempt to move the load quickly to avoid strain or injury. C. Do not move the load until a safe method or assistance is available. D. Use proper lifting techniques and try to move the load on your own. Correct answer, C. Do not move the load until a safe method or assistance is available. What is the safest approach when lifting a load that obstructs your view? A. Have someone walk in front of you to clear the path and alert others. B. Move the load alone, assuming others will notice and move out of the way. C. Ask a colleague to guide you by walking alongside and directing you. D. Request assistance from another person to help carry the load and improve visibility. Correct answer, D. Request assistance from another person to help carry the load and improve visibility. Which of the following correctly depicts using safety signs to ensure compliance on a construction site? A. Workers wearing PPE in designated areas. B. A worker following proper signage for hazardous materials. C. Properly marked emergency exits and first aid stations. D. All of the above. Correct answer, D. All of the above. Which items should be labeled with a hazardous material sign? A. Chemical cleaning agents. B. Ordinary office waste. C. Plastic packaging. D. Electrical components. Correct answer, A. Chemical cleaning agents. Which safety symbol represents corrosive materials? A. A symbol showing a flame over a circle. B. A symbol depicting an exclamation mark. C. A symbol of a skull and crossbones. D. A symbol with a hand and a surface being damaged by chemicals. Correct answer, D. A symbol with a hand and a surface being damaged by chemicals. What should you do if a fire breaks out on site, and you are not trained in using fire extinguishers? A. Attempt to extinguish the fire if it is small and manageable. B. Report to the site office and then go to the assembly point. C. Go straight to the assembly point without attempting to fight the fire. D. Leave the site immediately and inform your supervisor later. Correct answer, C. Go straight to the assembly point without attempting to fight the fire. What emergency procedure should be covered during a site induction? A. Where to hide your belongings in an emergency. B. How to raise the alarm in case of an emergency. C. How to detect if it is a false emergency. D. How to handle workplace disputes during an emergency. Correct answer, B. How to raise the alarm in case of an emergency. In the event of a fire, what is the correct action concerning the designated fire warden? A. Ignore their instructions and act independently. B. Follow their instructions immediately and calmly. C. Wait for them to ask for help before doing anything. D. Leave the area without waiting for any guidance. Correct answer, B. Follow their instructions immediately and calmly. When is it safe to work near an overhead power line? A. If you use a metal ladder. B. If the power line is switched off. C. If it is not a windy day. D. If you maintain a distance of at least 5 meters. Correct answer, B. If the power line is switched off. What should you do if a safety guard is missing from a power tool? A. Attempt to create a temporary guard yourself. B. Use the tool once you have asked your supervisor. C. Wait until a proper guard is installed. D. Use the tool carefully while avoiding potential hazards. Correct answer, C. Wait until a proper guard is installed. What should be your first step if your electrical equipment stops working? A. Try gently tapping the equipment to see if it will restart. B. Blow on it to see if it cools down. C. Switch the power off and then back on to reset it. D. Switch off the power and inspect it for any visible damage. Correct answer, D. Switch off the power and inspect it for any visible damage. The quickest way to your work area is through a reversing zone. Which route should you take? A. Go through the reversing zone carefully. B. Walk quickly through the reversing zone to minimize risk. C. Wait for the vehicles to stop before crossing the reversing zone. D. Always take a detour to avoid the reversing zone. Correct answer, D. Always take a detour to avoid the reversing zone. When is it permissible for site transport to use a pedestrian route? A. Only during breaks when no pedestrians are around. B. When there are no other available routes. C. Only if necessary and all pedestrians have been removed. D. Anytime, as long as it moves slowly. Correct answer, C. Only if necessary and all pedestrians have been removed. What is the best practice to minimize the risk of an accident with a mobile plant while walking across a site? A. Wear PPE when walking behind the mobile plant. B. Always stick to designated pedestrian routes. C. Make sure to get the driver's attention before approaching. D. Walk quickly across the site to minimize time near the plant. Correct answer, B. Always stick to designated pedestrian routes. Which is the correct and safe setup of a ladder? A. Ladder placed at a steep angle against a wall. B. Ladder positioned on an unstable surface. C. Ladder leaning without any safety measures or securing. D. Ladder with proper angle and stability on a solid base. Correct answer, D. Ladder with proper angle and stability on a solid base. At what angle should a leaning ladder be positioned for safe use? A. 45 degrees. B. 60 degrees. C. 75 degrees. D. 90 degrees. Correct answer, C. 75 degrees. According to the work at height regulations, under what conditions can ladders be used for work? A. Ladders can be used for high-risk tasks requiring long durations. B. Ladders can be used for low-risk tasks that are of short duration. C. Ladders can be used as long as they are inspected weekly. D. Ladders are only allowed for emergency situations. Correct answer, B. Ladders can be used for low-risk tasks that are of short duration. Why is the presence of methane gas dangerous in confined spaces? A. It is highly flammable and can cause explosions. B. It causes fatigue and dizziness. C. It displaces oxygen, leading to suffocation. D. It irritates the eyes and skin. Correct answer, A. It is highly flammable and can cause explosions. What is the primary reason for requiring training before entering a confined space? A. To understand how to handle materials containing asbestos. B. To increase physical fitness for the task. C. To understand and mitigate the specific hazards present. D. To comply with the company policy. Correct answer, C. To understand and mitigate the specific hazards present. Why is it essential to have a person stationed outside a confined space during work? A. To perform routine inspections of the confined space. B. To monitor the work inside the confined space for quality control. C. To implement the rescue plan in case of an emergency. D. To supervise the work being done. Correct answer, C. To implement the rescue plan in case of an emergency. How can you accurately identify asbestos in materials? A. By observing the color and texture of the dust. B. By sending a sample to a laboratory for analysis. C. By visually inspecting the material for fibrous texture. D. By checking the material's age and type. Correct answer, B. By sending a sample to a laboratory for analysis. How can asbestos enter the body? A. Through ingestion of contaminated food. B. Through skin contact with asbestos materials. C. By drinking water contaminated with asbestos. D. By inhaling airborne asbestos fibers. Correct answer, D. By inhaling airborne asbestos fibers. Where can asbestos mostly be found? A. In older insulation, ceiling tiles and flooring. B. In modern roofing materials. C. In electronic devices. D. In new plumbing fixtures. Correct answer, A. In older insulation, ceiling tiles and flooring. What is the correct procedure to follow if there is a diesel spill on site? A. Finish your current task and then clean up the spill. B. Spread sand over the spill and leave it to evaporate. C. Contain the spill, clean it up immediately and notify the supervisor. D. Contact the emergency services as soon as possible. Correct answer, C. Contain the spill, clean it up immediately and notify the supervisor. Which of the following will most likely contribute to air pollution? A. Consistently using manual tools. B. Emissions from machinery and vehicles. C. Spills of fuel or chemicals. D. Regular maintenance of equipment. Correct answer, B. Emissions from machinery and vehicles.